All right, Team Alliance members. This is Mark Fuller, co-founder of Team Alliance, and as promised, this is part 2 of the introduction to price action. I'm going to continue to peel back the layers of what it is that we're looking for prior to getting into any trade on NADEX. Right now on this chart, there's absolutely nothing on it. Right now, you don't see anything. I clicked on the line chart and the line is set to black. The candles are set to blue and to pink. So for the up candles, you got blue. For the down candles, you got pink. And that's all we have on the chart. No indicators whatsoever. So this is a naked chart, and this is all we're going to use. This is all we are ever going to use. Now, if you have already watched part 1, you're already familiar with the process that we use to identify the range that we are in. Okay. And let me switch over to NADEX as I'm looking at this. All right, cool. So we're going to wait for the next 5-minute candle on NADEX before we even consider looking at the price action on this chart. Now, with practice will come confusion at times. And in the very beginning, when most of you first joined, if you were in a private session with myself or in any of the group sessions that we kind of had early on, you've heard me say that you are going to practice and you're going to have to forget all of the things that you have been fed prior to being introduced to what we're teaching you. So it's like you're being cleaned out. And a lot of the habits and the behavior that you have had from information that you've been fed prior to what we're teaching you, it has to be released from your brain. Like your brain cells have to release that information because the brain has a mechanism of remembering things that you continuously feed to it. So if you've been fed a certain type of information for a long time, it's going to take a while for your brain to forget that information and replace it with new information. So instead of it being a lot of complicated stuff that you're learning, you're actually learning something that's so simple that you're complicating it with your brain because you're not used to using simplicity. You're used to being in a complicated environment when it comes to trading, when it comes to even looking at a price chart, when it comes to doing any type of analysis or anything of that nature. So we're going to help you to undo all of that. And that's what this process is for. So the reason that I'm making this part 2, I know that a few of you are having a hard time now as you're practicing. And I just want to go through the checklist of what it is that we're looking for from beginning to end. All right. Hang on one second. All right. So we're going to look at what the price is doing right now. We start with the horizontal lines. We want to isolate the range that the price has been in for however long. So we've isolated top to bottom this range that you see, and we're just going to use the measuring tool in MetaTrader 4 right here, this crosshair, and we're going to measure how many pips this is. So this is about 13 pips. And as I'm doing that, let me come over here to NADEX, and I'm going to be looking at this pair right here, the 63 strike, and we're going to keep our eye on this. So we got about a minute and change left there. So we want to next, of course, identify the strike that we're looking at on NADEX. So here would be the 3163 strike, and we're going to identify that strike price over here on MT4. And we know that on MT4, it is approximately 1 pip less than it would be on NADEX. So 3162 is here where you see this thick horizontal line. And now we can visually see on the chart what's going on NADEX. So as we toggle back and forth between NADEX and MetaTrader 4, we're getting a clearer and clearer picture of what we can actually do. And I actually wanted to enter that trade. Let me see if I can get in here. Okay, so we are in this trade long. And I'm just doing this just to show you how fast the process can be as you practice the simplicity of it. Now, we're in 3163 strike, looking for price to remain above 3163. You can see that the price is at 31635. Now, when I was doing my analysis on MetaTrader, and let's see if it closes above there, and it looks like it was close. I don't know if it did or not. Anyway, so as I was watching this on MetaTrader, I'm looking at the price. I'm not trying to predict the price. And there's a difference between the two. So instead of you trying to predict where the price is going, you know that the first thing on the checklist is to identify your range. The next thing would be to look for consolidation of candles. And that's what this area in here represents. All of these candles inside of this little cluster are consolidated candles, meaning that they're not big price bars like these. These are big price bars moving within this range that the market set. So as we check each thing off, if you have it, you move on to the next thing. If you don't have it, it's no trade. This is where the discipline comes in. Because I know that as you practice, what you'll tend to do, you'll take trades that you shouldn't be in. You don't want to practice the behavior that you're not going to be doing in your live account. When it's time to actually go live, you don't want to be in the habit of just taking trades because you're used to doing that from the demo account. The demo account is strictly for you to replicate what you will be doing in a live account. It's not just intended for you to be willy-nilly and taking all kind of trades and, oh, let me jump into this and see if this is gonna, close in profit, or let me get into this a little earlier and see if I can make more on this trade. There's a very specific protocol that we use from beginning to end before we even get into the trade. So you have to practice what you're actually going to be doing when you go live. You need to practice that in your demo account. Don't practice things in your demo account that you're not going to be doing in your live account. And I mean everything from, the actual size of the trade to everything. If you're only going to be trading one contract on your live account, that's what you need to be trading in your demo account. Don't trade 50 contracts in your demo account just because you can. If you're going to be trading one contract in your live account, when you're in the demo, set it to one contract and only take the trades as if you are in your live account. Meaning, are you checking off everything off the checklist? Are you following the protocol for what it is that you're even looking for? Is the market revealing itself to you, or are you chasing it? If you're chasing the market, then you are not following the protocol that we're teaching you, because we don't have to chase the market. The market comes to us. The market is going to reveal exactly what it is doing to us. That's what's going to happen. We don't have to chase the market ever. So again, once you have checked each thing off the list, if something is not met, there's no trade. Just like right now. Are we inside of a range? No. See? Now, many of you would say, well, yeah, Mark, because you got a candle wick down there. Well, this is on the current candle. Does this current candle represent any type of range? Has the market actually traded anywhere inside of that range from top to bottom? No, it has not. And look at what the price is continuing to do. It's continuing to move down. Now, are you trading during this time? Do I trade during this time? You don't see me trading during these times. You see me waiting. I wait until we have a range that's well defined, right? And then I wait until we have consolidation of these candles. Until then, I'm not looking at anything. I'm not looking to trade anything. Some of you will look at this right here and you'll be on your demo account and you'll jump into trades. That is a behavior that you're going to have to get rid of, because that's not the behavior that you're going to do when you have your live account. At least it's not the behavior that you want to do, because bad habits are hard to break. So if you create that habit from your demo, guess what? By the time you go live and you feel that you're confident enough to take trades in your live account, and you find yourself doing things that end up and result in a loss, when you actually look at the behavior that you're doing, you will find that it's the same behavior that you created on the demo account. And you do not want to do that. All right. So again, we have a checklist. We want a well-defined range. Then we want consolidation of the candles. We don't want big candles, and we don't want the market to just be trending back and forth. That's not what we want when we're looking and doing the analysis to prepare to enter a trade. Those are not the conditions in the market that we want to see. We want to see a well-defined range, and we want to see consolidation of candles before we even think about getting into a trade. Until you have that, you should not be in a trade, and you should not be even looking to get into a trade, period. So there's no exception to that rule. That is the rule. And the more that you guys practice, I want you to get into the habit of practicing with the correct protocol. Practice with the right things. Don't create the habit of just practicing just to practice, meaning that you're just taking a bunch of trades. You wouldn't take all the trades that you take on your demo and your live account. And I know that for a fact, just from, the report that I'm getting back from many of you that are practicing. And just to cut it short and sweet, you guys you're going to fall into the habit of overtrading. And overtrading always positions you to be exposed to loss. Because when you trade too much, you are not using like quality control to identify the best trade to be in at the time. If you're overtrading, you may or may not be going through the checklist thoroughly. If you're not going through the checklist thoroughly, then it behooves you to go through the checklist thoroughly in advance and practice that. If that means that you don't get into any trades on your demo until the setup is right, so be it. That's what you need to be doing. That's exactly what you need to be doing, actually. So I want you guys to train properly, and I'm going to teach you properly, and I'm going to expect you to follow the protocol that you're being taught, because that is what's going to keep you out of the trouble. Because I know that you guys are running into trouble. You're losing trades here and there, and you're like, I don't know what I did. I'm doing something wrong. What you guys have to do is just be patient. Be patient and exercise discipline. I had wanted to see if I can get into a trade, but I only got 30 seconds left on this video. So, if anything, I'll make another video. I mean, I don't think that I probably need to. I think this video pretty much covers it. Just remain disciplined. Follow your checklist. I mean, right here is a good example. The candles are starting to consolidate in this area. So just practice with the right protocol, And if you guys need any help, just reach out to me or Enrico. All right? You guys take care. Happy